Welcome back to our taxi driver informative podcast for New York City drivers, professional taxi driver of New York. My name is Mario Sena. For the grace of God, I'm the president of Agape Transportation, one of the company that operate here in New York City. Taxi company dedicated 100% to the non-emergency medical transportation. That's all we do, Agape Transportation. We take patients, members to their doctor's appointment. That's all we do. We specialize on that area. On this podcast, we talk about the information regarding the taxi driver as a whole in New York City. Yellow taxi, for-hire vehicle, all kind of for-hire vehicle, and the black card also here in New York City. So we have a couple of information. Couple of topics. We're talking about the plate, the new plate, the TLC, Taxi and Limousine Commission, which is the institution that regulates the taxi in New York City, had put a hold on the new plate. So there hasn't been a new car with the new plate for the last 2.5 years in New York City. On the contrary, out of 30,000 drivers we have after the pandemic, we left now with about 7,000 drivers only. Now, the new plates, they have a new proposal. We're going to talk about that later on. But the new topic, the heavy topic now is the Central Business District tolling program that the MTA, the Metropolitan Transit Authority, in charge of the transportation here in New York City, they propose and they already is approved that they're going to have a congestion tolls for the people getting into the district, the business district in Manhattan. That meaning 60th Street below. So, if you know the area from 60th Street below, they propose that everybody have to pay. Now they have different options. They went on a public hearing, and they were listening to the public different opinion on why we should have it, why we shouldn't have it, who should pay, who be exempt. So private car, absolutely they have to pay up to now, and the commercial vehicle also they're going to have to pay. Now the question is whether the taxi industry going to have to pay the tolls. In this case, if the taxi, first of all, they suggested that the yellow cab, the official yellow cab here in the city, they should be exempt from this payment. But the other group is extending that exemption to the whole industry, the for-hire vehicle industry. And in my opinion, if I may have one, I think the taxi industry as a general should be exempt from paying these congestion tolls going into Manhattan. Even though in the case of the taxi driver, the passenger is responsible for paying these new tolls, the people of the city is going to be hurt with the another expense that they're going to have. So we're going to have less people taking taxis into the city, so which is going to hurt the whole industry, Liberty Taxi and Black Card Taxi here in the city, if in case only the yellow are exempt from the regulation. But our opinion is that all for-hire vehicle, including yellow taxi, Liberty, and Black Card, should be exempt from the congestion pricing. It's going to be very expensive, too expensive for the people to go into the city by car. That I agree that it should be a price to get in so that we can reduce the congestion. But I just think about it. If you go to Manhattan nowadays, you feel the congestion is the same, even though we have 22,000 less taxi in the city. So from 30, we have 7,000 taxi drivers now. So even though you see the congestion into Manhattan. So of course, they have to be figured out. The MTA, the Metropolitan Transit Authority, is the one proposing this new charge. It's good for the congestion. It's good for the how you call it, for the atmosphere. I mean, it's better off with less car. But I suggest, my opinion, my suggestion to the authority is that all taxi driver should be extend from the charge of the congestion price going below 60th Street in Manhattan. So that I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the driver to make it, because the reduction on the ride is going to be very, very much. So lot less people are going to be into the city by using our services. So it's going to be very difficult for the whole industry. So we have no plates, and now we're going to have a surcharge for our customer, which are not going to use our services. So please, authority, pay attention to this. I pray that they take the decision that the taxi driver are going to be all as a whole exempt from this toll into the central business district in New York City. That's what we have. So we have to be aware of what's going on in the city with our industry concerning the taxi driver. Another thing, going back now with the new plates, as I told you before, the new plates for the new taxi drivers, the new cars, had been on hold. It's been stopped over 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. But the city is again talking about having new plates. I think they decided, they're talking about a number. They have not decided yet, but they're talking about a number of 2,000 new plates. 2,000 new plates that they think they might be enough for the industry. So for the lack of driver, we suffering in the whole industry now. Now, out of the 2,000, they debating also to whom should those cars go, because if they open up the 2,000 new plates for the whole industry, so the big company, the how you call it, the high volume company from downtown, they might absorb all those new drivers, leaving the crisis for the rest of the industry, livery and black car, the same. So they figuring out to whom should be what is the restriction. They thinking about a restrict plate for the new car, for the car that's going to be working either for livery only, or for medical transportation only, or for black car only, in that sense. So they have not figured it out how to distribute those numbers. In this case, they say 2,000 new plates. So this month they going to decide. They already have gathered all most of the information now, and they almost ready to distribute those plates. So we're going to keep you informed of what's going on with the new plates. You have any friends, or you yourself, you looking information. But as I said before, so don't wait for the new plates. Get your car, get your TLC license, your license as a taxi driver on the meantime. And another alternative you might have, remember, if you're a new driver, you have your car, you haven't been able to get a new plate, you have an option to go to Westchester County, Westchester TLC. You can get a new plate on your car now at Westchester TLC. We had Agape. We have enough jobs. We're getting more jobs in Westchester County. So you don't have to wait. In case you don't have to wait for the New York City plate, you can go right now. This week you can start. No, in a couple of weeks, because if you have to apply for the car license, and for your own license, TLC of Westchester. So Westchester is an alternative for you to work in Westchester until they decide what to do with the new plate. So Westchester is an alternative, and we have at Agape Transportation, and there is other bases that do vouchers, they do cash job, they do credit cards. There is plenty of company now working in Westchester County. So you don't have to wait for the New York City plate. You can start with the Westchester County. It's a good alternative, and we have plenty of jobs in Westchester. So Agape Transportation was recognized as the top non-emergency medical transportation service as provider for 2022. So Agape Transportation was recognized as the best non-emergency medical transportation in the United States, including, first place from the group of transportation big company that operate in the whole United States. We were selected by the healthcare. It's a magazine. It's a magazine that they find out about us, and they do a review, and we're going to show you. You see it now in the screen, hopefully. The engineer is putting that there. So we at Agape were recognized as the #1 non-emergency medical transportation in the United States. It's a blessing for us. It's a privilege. We feel honored for that recognition. Of course, because of you, the drivers. Because of the drivers of Agape Transportation, we've been recognized in different occasions. Magazine in Indy 500. What was this other company? Big magazine from New York. We've been recognized for a couple of magazines, and this lately, that was 2 weeks ago, that we recognized for this medical magazine. It's a medical magazine that recognized Agape Transportation as the #1. We're going to have the link that you can see the interview that they did to us, and we feel very proud of our company, and we feel very proud of Agape drivers. Of course, our employees, everybody in the 45 of them in the office doing the best for the customer and for the drivers. Always. So Agape Transportation, #1 transportation company in the United States for 2022. Thank you to all of you. We appreciate. Thank you very much. So what else do we have? Do you have any question? Do you have any suggestion? You can go right ahead, and we might ask you before even you can now click there. The comment. Okay, you can comment now live over there. Well, it's not live, but you can comment, and and then if you have any question, we can answer on the next podcast. You have any suggestion for us? Any topic that you really want us to talk about? We here open for you. So Agape Transportation is a non-emergency medical transportation here in the city of New York. We cover the 5 boroughs, Westchester and Long Island. We go all the way long distance. If we can get by car from the city, we go anywhere. In this past week, we've been in Buffalo, New York, from New York City to Buffalo, from New York City to Binghamton, from New York City to Middletown. We have plenty of long-distance calls. You only have to be there with the application open, Agape Transportation open. We have job in Long Island, drivers that work only in Long Island, Long Island to Long Island, Long Island to Queens, Queens to Queens. It's up to you. You can see on our app, the driver's app, where the customer is going, which borough the call is going to. Most of the time, you even see the price that we pay to you. It's amazing. We have a driver last week. We announced a driver the 29 days. It made $7,000 plus. $7,000 in 29 days in new drivers. So every day we have new drivers, thanks God, and we getting more jobs. Thanks to those new drivers that we can cover, and we can accept more jobs. Jobs we can have, almost unlimited, as I told you the last time. So when we need some drivers, the much, even though we have close to, we passed 700 drivers now, we need more drivers because there is more jobs to be covered out there. So as I said at the beginning, my name is Mario Sena, President of Agape Transportation here in New York City. We're here to serve you. Any question that you may have, we want to help you. We want the best for the industry. If you, in the base that you're working now, you're not satisfied, then you open to inquire about our services and how much you can make with us. If you're happy with your base, stay there, no problem. So those drivers that are not making enough money on whatever they're working now, we're open for you. So we need drivers, we have plenty of jobs, and that's it. We appreciate your attention, and as I said, any suggestion, any question that you may have, you can right there inquire, or you can call us at our main line, 718-538-2222. 585. Oh, just checking if you are aware. That's 718-585-2222. 585-2222 with the 718 area code. We are at our main headquarters, 361 East Gun Hill Road here in the beautiful downtown Bronx, New York, the borough of the Yankees in New York City. So thank you very much. I appreciate your attention. My name is Mario Sena. Any question, we're here to serve you. Thank you very much.